Human beings are strange creatures. They search for happiness, yet often destroy themselves. They crave love, yet hurt the people closest to them. They desire meaning, yet sometimes choose chaos over peace. Why? Why does suffering shape human life so deeply? And perhaps more importantly, can suffering contain meaning? Few writers explored these questions more deeply than Fyodor Dostoevsky, a man who descended into the darkest regions of human psychology. A writer who explored despair, guilt, loneliness, madness, faith, and redemption, with terrifying honesty. Tonight, we enter Dostoevsky's philosophy of suffering, a journey into the fractured human soul, into freedom, into pain, and into the terrifying mystery of being human. Part 1: A Man Transformed by Suffering. Fyodor Dostoevsky did not study suffering from distance. He lived it. In 1849, he was arrested in Russia for involvement in political discussions considered dangerous by the government. After months imprisoned, Dostoevsky was brought before a firing squad. He believed he was about to die. The execution was stopped only moments before it happened. The entire event had been staged as psychological punishment. Afterward, he was sent to forced labor camps in Siberia. This experience transformed him completely. Because once a person confronts death directly, consciousness changes. Suffering stopped being abstract philosophy for Dostoevsky. It became existential reality. Part 2: The Darkness Inside Human Nature. Dostoevsky believed humans are deeply contradictory beings. Civilization often portrays humans as rational and moral creatures. But Dostoevsky saw something darker. Humans are capable of love, compassion, sacrifice, but also cruelty, self-destruction, violence, irrationality, and perhaps most disturbing of all, people sometimes knowingly choose suffering. Why would humans destroy themselves? Why sabotage happiness? Why create chaos even when peace is possible? Dostoevsky believed human beings crave freedom so deeply that they sometimes reject logic itself. People do not merely want comfort. They want autonomy, even if that autonomy leads to pain. Part 3: Suffering and Consciousness. Dostoevsky believed consciousness intensifies suffering. Animals suffer physically, but humans suffer psychologically and spiritually. Humans remember the past endlessly, fear the future constantly, question morality, question meaning, question themselves. This creates profound inner conflict. And the more conscious a person becomes, the heavier existence may feel. Dostoevsky often portrayed highly intelligent individuals descending into isolation, paranoia, nihilism, despair. Because awareness can destroy illusion. Once humans see suffering clearly, they can no longer live naively. Part 4: The Underground Man. One of Dostoevsky's most important characters is the underground man. From Notes from Underground. The underground man represents psychological fragmentation. A person trapped inside overthinking, resentment, insecurity, isolation, self-awareness. He understands himself deeply, yet cannot escape his own destructive patterns. Dostoevsky used this character to criticize the idea that humans are purely rational beings. People often act against their own interests, sometimes intentionally, because humans are emotionally chaotic creatures. And perhaps modern society created millions of underground men. People disconnected from meaning, isolated internally, Overthinking endlessly while feeling emotionally trapped. Part 5. Suffering and Pride. Dostoevsky believed pride isolates people spiritually. Humans often refuse vulnerability because vulnerability feels humiliating. People hide pain behind ego, cynicism, intellectual superiority, emotional detachment. But internally, many suffer deeply. Dostoevsky believed humility becomes necessary for healing. Not humiliation, but honest recognition of human fragility. Because once individuals stop pretending perfection, compassion becomes possible. Toward others. And toward themselves. Part 6. The Danger of Nihilism. Dostoevsky feared nihilism deeply. The belief that nothing has meaning. Morality is illusion. Existence is empty. He believed humans psychologically need meaning. Without meaning, people often descend into despair, violence, addiction, emotional collapse. Modern society still struggles with this today. Many people feel spiritually disconnected. They possess information, but not purpose. Entertainment, but not fulfillment. And because of this, existential emptiness spreads quietly. Dostoevsky believed suffering without meaning becomes unbearable. But suffering connected to love, faith, or purpose can transform the soul. Part 7. Love and Compassion. Despite the darkness in his work, Dostoevsky believed compassion could redeem suffering. Human connection mattered deeply. Forgiveness mattered. Love mattered. Even in broken people. Especially in broken people. This is why many of his stories focus on morally flawed individuals searching desperately for redemption. Because Dostoevsky believed no human being is purely evil or purely good. Humans remain divided internally. And suffering often reveals this complexity most clearly. Part 8. Freedom as a Burden. Dostoevsky believed freedom terrifies humans. Because freedom creates responsibility. People often claim they want complete freedom. Yet simultaneously desire structure, certainty, and authority. Freedom means confronting uncertainty, moral responsibility, existential loneliness. And many people escape this burden through conformity, ideology, distraction, blind obedience. But Dostoevsky believed authentic existence requires confronting freedom honestly. Even when painful. Part 9. Why Suffering Can Transform People. Dostoevsky believed suffering can awaken consciousness. Pain destroys illusion. Loss creates humility. Failure exposes vulnerability. And through vulnerability, humans may become more compassionate and spiritually aware. This does not romanticize suffering. Suffering can also destroy people completely. But Dostoevsky believed pain sometimes opens the soul, forcing humans to confront morality, meaning, mortality, and the need for connection. Perhaps this is why many people change profoundly after difficult experiences. Because suffering forces existential honesty. Part 10. Final Reflection. Fyodor Dostoevsky believed suffering reveals the human soul more honestly than comfort ever could. Inside suffering, humans confront freedom, fear, guilt, meaning, and spiritual longing. His philosophy remains powerful because modern humans still struggle with the same questions. How should humans live? What gives suffering meaning? Can broken people find redemption? And perhaps most importantly, how does one continue living inside a painful and uncertain world? Maybe suffering does not only reveal darkness inside human beings. Maybe It also reveals their capacity for compassion, redemption, and love.